Hey y'all, welcome to Kamira's Kitchen. If you have been watching my channel for any amount of time, you know that I don't really rock with the chicken tatas, right? Because the only breast I rocks with is mine. Okay, so any stud aunties, get out my DMs. Get uncles, get out my DMs too. Anyway, stay focused, all right? So, when I came up with this chicken breast recipe though, it really was a winner. It was super flavorful, juicy, and I honestly think you are going to love it. I'm starting out with 3 chicken breasts, and as you saw, I had to do a little scrubby dub dub on them chicken breasts, okay? So I took a little lemon, went to work. Then I'm going to add them to a cutting board, and I'm going to trim off some of the little fat and meat that's hanging off on the side. Personally, I don't really mind the fat being there, but I know some of y'all is going to be mad if I leave it there. Like, you ain't really trim it right. So I'm just going to go ahead and just get a little bit off the side. Next, I am going to make a crisscross pattern. Be careful when doing this because the part of the chicken breast that is thicker, you're going to cut a little bit deeper, and as it gets tapered towards the end, you're going to cut more shallow. What you're trying to do is even out the cooking times. The thick part of the breast will cook at a similar rate as the end and create more pockets for sauce and seasoning to get in this thick breast. The seasoning for this is simple. First, I'm going to douse this with some olive oil, and then I'm using this hot Jamaican jerk curry seasoning. Now, if you don't have this specific brand, don't worry. You can use any Jamaican curry powder that you like. Or in fact, you can even use an Indian curry powder. Just use a blend that you feel comfortable with. This all-purpose seasoning is simply a blend of paprika, garlic powder, onion powder, and some herbs. But I really love this blend. Then I'm going in with Sazon Tropical, which is a complete seasoning. It has garlic powder, onion powder, herbs, and some flavor enhancers. And I'm going to mix this up very well. That's the only seasonings that I'm going to use. If you don't have these brands, feel free to substitute. You guys know that I don't want seasonings to be a reason why you don't try my recipes. I am going to take some fresh ginger and cut it into some thick slices. This will be used not only for the chicken, but also the side dishes that I'll make. Into my cast iron skillet, y'all know Sister Mabel, okay, she is real faithful. I'm going to add some olive oil and some butter. When it is nice and hot, I'm going to put in my chicken breast with the flat side down. Then I'm going to add in some of those ginger slices as well as some thyme and allspice to season the oil. This is so important because the moment that ginger, thyme, and allspice berries touch that oil, it will immediately become so fragrant. And this is also just going to add a nice aroma to the chicken and the dish. I'm going to cook it on this side for about 3 minutes on a medium heat. While that is cooking, I'm going to prep the rest of my vegetables. These veggies will be used for the side dishes as well as the chicken. So I'm going to cut 1 carrot into some oblique pieces. Any piece that's really big, then I'll just slice it in half. I'm going to dice up 1 large red onion just into a nice medium dice. And I will also dice up a half of a red bell pepper. As I cut everything, I like to add it to a plate so that I can add it into my dishes very easily. Take your aggression out on some garlic and go ahead and mince that up really nicely. Those of you that are loyal to the chicken tatas, let me know in the comments what is your favorite recipe to make with them. I feel like they, have a tendency just to get really dry. So let me know what techniques you use to make sure that your chicken breasts come out super moist. Now you're going to flip your chicken breasts and let them cook for about another 3 minutes. They are not going to be fully cooked because we are going to do something else with this recipe to make it even more delicious. While I was finishing searing my chicken breast, I started making a coconut carrot rice as a side dish. This is one of the best rices I have ever made. Into a pot, I'm going to add onion, garlic, some of the ginger spices, allspice, some butter, and a little bit of Vegeta. This is an all-purpose seasoning. I absolutely love it, and you can get it from Amazon or an international store. Or if you're watching from Europe, I'm sure you know exactly what this is. Once I've allowed this to saute for about 2 minutes, I'm going to add in garlic, some thyme, and some green onions. And I'm going to saute that for about a minute until it's very fragrant. Then I'm putting in a cup and a half of jasmine rice that I have washed, but you can also use any other type of rice that you like. I'm going to toast this for about 2 minutes, and then I will be putting in 1 cup of coconut milk and 2 cups of water. Toss in a bay leaf too, because y'all know, even if we don't know what bay leaf tastes like, we be tossing it in there for whatever flavor it's gonna give. You know what I'm saying? Then I'm gonna cover this and let this simmer for 20 minutes on low. By this time, my chicken breast is about 65% done, and so I'm ready to proceed with the rest of the recipe. Saute the rest of your onion and that green onion in a skillet until it is a little bit brown. Then I want you to put in some more thyme, some more allspice, just to freshen up the pot. As you can see, I clearly love thyme. If you don't like this much fresh thyme, then you don't have to use it. But I have it growing in my garden, so it is not a thing to me. I just love putting it in dishes. I'm going to put the rest of that garlic, and I will saute this for about 30 seconds until it is fragrant. Now I'm going to bloom some more spices in this oil. So I'm going to put just a little bit more of this curry powder, about 1/4 of a teaspoon more, and about 1/4 of a teaspoon more of that all-purpose seasoning. Doing this is going to enhance the flavor of the sauce that we are going to create. Oil and spices just really go great together. Next, I'm going to add in some water. You could use chicken broth, but I will be adding in just some chicken bouillon paste to make that chicken broth. Now, you guys know that I am just a cook throwing it down in that kitchen. So I did not do an exact measurement for what I'm adding to this gravy, but I would estimate that I probably ended up adding about 2 cups of water, because some of it is going to simmer out. Then I'm adding in a cup of heavy cream. However, if you are more on the dairy-free side, you could add a cup of coconut cream. But this heavy cream, y'all, this heavy cream is going to hit. Before I add the chicken back in, I am going to steam some broccolini in this absolutely delicious broth. So I'm going to add the broccolini, and then I'm going to cover it. I'm just going to let it simmer for about 4 minutes. I want it to be tender, bright green, but still have a bit of a crunch to it. I don't want no mushy vegetables, okay? And I want it to get covered in this sauce. And let me tell y'all, this was some of the best broccolini I've ever had in my entire life. If you don't have broccolini, no problem. Just use some broccoli florets. After you pull out your vegetables, you are going to have a little bit of the sauce that is like pooling off of them. I'm just going to pour that back in because I want enough to simmer my chicken in. Now I am going to put in a little bit of parmesano reggiano. Now I know y'all are thinking, girl, what country are you going to? Are you in Jamaica or somewhere in the Caribbean? Are we going to Italy? Okay, look, don't worry about it. Okay, don't worry about it. Just take your ticket, get on the flavor train, and just go to whatever destination that I'm taking you to. Okay. When you add back in your chicken, make sure you pour in any juices that are from the pan. And I'm also going to take about 1/4 of a cup of water and just wring it around that marination bowl and add that in too. I'm going to take my spoon and just layer all this sauce all over that chicken, because that sauce is just going to get deep down into those little cuts and just make this chicken juicy and delicious. I'm going to cover this up and let this simmer for about 7 to 10 minutes on a medium low until the chicken hits at least 165. Be careful not to overdo it because you don't want to dry this chicken out. But I can tell you right now, this chicken is some of the best chicken I have ever made. At this point, my coconut rice is ready. I'm going to take some chopsticks and I am going to fluff this up. Now, you might be wondering if the combination of coconut and then the curry cream goes together. It sure does. Even though it's heavy cream, I can tell you right now, this rice has a light but wonderful little tasty flavor. I just pick out the thyme sticks and then I also just pick out the big pieces of ginger, and this rice is so good. Plate it up. Y'all, can you resist this? I feel like your family deserves to try this recipe. With all the flavors in here, they are going to just give you mother, father, parent of the year, okay? Because this meal is so good. The chicken is juicy and the sauce is the boss. Y'all, let me know in the comments if you're going to try this. God bless you for watching this channel. I appreciate all of you so, so much. Goodbye, and I'll see you next time.